Hello. Hi, everyone. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday in tropical Melbourne. And I am here in the backyard with this guy, who's the best guard dog ever, but extremely woofy, and woofing at a lot of people at the moment. This is not going to be an easy video, but I'm not going to lose it. I'm promising myself I'm not going to lose it. I want to talk to you guys about family, because family is becoming a really important thing at this time with what we're going through. And I'm aware that some people may not know why I talk about this so much. So I'm going to give you the dot points of my family story. Are you ready for this? It's like Days of Our Lives, so get ready. So, born in San Francisco, to one Aussie parent and one Yankee parent. And then moved from San Francisco to Adelaide when I was 8 years old, and I lived in Adelaide. And I could never work out why, but my dad was always such an abusive cunt to me. Like, the worst thing was he never hit me. Well, he did actually spank me when I was way too old to be spanked, but it was never like out and out abuse. Yeah, it was like emotional abuse. It was like neglect and belittling and put downs my whole life. So my whole life I've been told I'm too loud, I'm too emotional, I'm too angry, that I need to just relax and I shouldn't take things so seriously. A whole lot of phrases that I learn now are gaslighting. So I've been gaslit by my family my whole life. So anyway, I just dealt with that. I moved out at 16, or got kicked out, because I had a weed plant that was this big on the roof when I'd been stealing my dad's weed for about 6 months. So yeah, the hypocrisy was running high. But anyway, so I moved out at 16, looked after myself. So I've looked after myself since then. Then, 38. I was 38. So 3 years ago, my life fell apart. My darling dog Yoshi, who everyone knew like my life partner, died really suddenly, and my boyfriend at the time couldn't deal with me grieving and left me at the same time, and one of my housemates went psychotic and threatened me, and I had to kick him out. And then the final clincher was Maitreya. I was running operations at Maitreya, and we lost the permit, and the party didn't go ahead, and that was the day that Yoshi died. So all of that shit happened in 2 weeks. And I rang my mom and I was like, I really need help. Can you come and help me pack up this share house? So she got off the plane from Adelaide. I poured her a glass of wine, and she sat on the couch and said, "What if I told you your dad's not your dad?" I thought she was fucking kidding. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whatever. She's like, "No, seriously, your dad's not your dad." And I was like, what? And I said, "Does he know?" And she's like, "No, I've never told him." So I found out then that I'm actually half Italian, actually. I mean, look at me. I look fucking Italian. I don't look German. I thought I was German. Everyone in my family was like skinny and pale with blonde hair and blue eyes and perfect bodies. And then there was me, who was like freckled and curvy and brown and loud. Like, I'm so not part of that family, or half of it. Anyway, so meanwhile, we're packing up this house, and I'm like, what do you mean I'm half Italian? What do you mean you never told him? Anyway, she's so wrapped up in her whole story, her part of the story, that she's just focused this whole weekend on going home and telling her husband of 40 years that she's been lying to him this whole time about his daughter. So she goes back to Adelaide and she tells him the truth, and he called her a slut and left the house for 2 weeks. To this day, he has never spoken to me again. Yeah? So he never, ever rang me up and said, "You're still my daughter. I love you. I'm still your dad." He never did that. He never rang. He never wrote a letter. So anyway, skip forward a bit, and my mom and I call her Christine, by the way. Christine and I tried to work things out. We tried to work through it. I was like, can we go to counseling? Like, well, how do we work through it? I threw all of my emotional intelligence and everything that I had at this conversation, and it just didn't work. It seemed like the only way I was going to keep these people in my life is to just fucking pretend like nothing had happened with my whole identity and all my life and all this abuse that was given to me because I'm a bastard. Like, fuck off. That was nothing to do with me. I've tried to be so hard to be loved by these people, and I could never have done anything different, So anyway, moving right along, and in September of the year before last, so about a year and a half ago, I get a letter in the mail, and it's a typed letter with her signature on it, and it's a letter disowning me. And the letter says shit like, "We raised a beautiful, intelligent, inquisitive girl. Where did she go?" You know, and it was full of all this vitriol about how I call my friends my family. And it said in it, "Maybe your friends know." Like, it was real mean, yeah? Like, real vitriol. And said really cutting things about what a terrible daughter I am. What a tragedy it has been being my parents. Nothing in that letter was about this secret or my identity or anything. It didn't even acknowledge any of that. And so I received this letter, and I must admit, I'm a real responder, yeah? I respond to things, and I'm so proud of myself, you guys. I never wrote back. I wrote a letter. I wrote a really good letter, because I'm a fucking good letter writer. But I didn't send it, because for me, sending it was acknowledging that that letter was real. And I'm sorry, you don't get to just disown people for your own mistakes in this world. You can think that you do, but it's going to come back on you. I guarantee that. I don't know whether it'll be that moment that flashes before your eyes on your deathbed or what. But to disown your daughter over her being a bastard, which was your secret, is just fucking gutless. Yeah? So anyway, that's why I've been struggling, is because for literally a year and a half, I've been grieving them already. I've been grieving the fact that they were never really my parents. They never really cared. They always wanted their marriage to be without me. My sister, who's 10 years younger, also doesn't speak to me anymore. She calls them my parents, and she will not talk to me. So that's why I have no family. Yeah, I don't have no family by choice. I have no family because of a shitstorm of situation that was actually really nothing to do with my choice. The only choice that I made that I could have made differently was that I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to work through it. I wanted to know what this whole identity thing means. I mean, this is why I got tattooed. This is why I traveled around the country. Why the fuck did you think I changed my name to Bo Ghetto Kitty when I was 20? I knew something was up. There was a big secret there, and I just didn't even know what question to ask. So anyway, today I was going about my day, and I was feeling this wiggy feeling because I've been, like, I don't know, should I call them? I don't know. We've blocked phones, we've blocked email, there is no contact. And I was like, should I feel guilty? I feel like I should feel guilty that I'm not contacting these people who've disowned me. And I chatted with my friend Rachie, and she was very supportive, and love you too, Janie. And she said, what do you want to get out of it? You know, and I had to really think about that. What do you want to get out of it? And what I wanted to get out of it was what I've never got from them was care. I wanted to feel like they care about me. And I knew that if I reached out to them at this time, it was just going to open a can of worms, which they've definitively shut. So anyway, I rang this woman named Deirdre. Deirdre, I don't know if you're watching, but I fucking love you. So this woman, Deirdre, she's actually not my auntie, right? She is an old family friend who is married to an Indigenous man. And so she's a Jewish lady, but she's married to an Indig man. And so she thinks of herself like an auntie, like all the aunties. And she's my auntie. Now I'm going to cry. But she's actually my auntie. She's chosen to be my auntie, and I've chosen to be her niece. And she has a twin sister named Susan. And they are my aunties. So anyway, I rang Deirdre randomly today. I don't know why. I just had this reason I had to ring her. And I rang her today. Hi, Auntie Susan. Hi. And she told me that Christine had made contact, or that she'd made contact with Christine today or in the last couple of days, and that Christine had asked about me. You know, she'd asked about me, but she hasn't contacted me. Yeah. And I love Deirdre so much. She's an old witch like I am. And she was like, I knew you wouldn't want her to know everything. So I just said that you were onto this earlier and that you're self-isolating. And that's all I said. And I was like, thank you, Auntie. I really just don't want her knowing anything else about my life. I really don't. I don't want her knowing fucking anything about my life. So Deirdre was like, I felt like saying, why don't you ask her? You know, and this is what's so interesting is there's people right now that could reach out to me. Yeah, that aren't. And it's interesting, the people that are reaching out. Last night, my friend Liz called me, video chat me, and she's like, babe, I know we don't know each other very well, but I really love you. And I'm like, me too, babe. And also, it's not the people that you expect that reach out a lot. So this chosen family thing, it's not bullshit. It's absolutely not. It's about the people that fucking accept you for all your warts and all your hard bits and everything you've been through and all your crazy spectrumness. That's your family. Blood doesn't mean shit, you guys. It doesn't mean shit. And to get disowned for being a bastard is some Game of Thrones shit that I am not buying into. That is some bullshit right there. So I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody that checks in with me, the people that care about me, the people that have brought me in the last few days tapioca pudding and zucchinis and dal, and who are checking in that I'm looking after myself and that I've got enough things to do. Because you are my family, not those motherfuckers. And I don't call them parents anymore. Their names are Christine and Jerry, and they are sovereign beings that are nothing to do with me. They are nothing to do with me. And I do not feel guilt. I don't feel any guilt because it's not my guilt. There's a big difference between guilt and shame, yeah? Guilt is internalized. It's what you feel about your own actions. And shame is what the outside world puts onto you. And I say, it's time to fuck shame. Fuck shame, yeah? Anyone wants to shame you for any of your life choices or who you are, you just tell them to sit and spin. Guilt is different. If you feel badly about your own actions, then go resolve it. But shame, there's no time for shame anymore, my friends. No time for shame. It's time to be our absolute best versions of ourselves. And that's why now I am being outspoken, and I'm being emotional, and I'm being fucking me. Because I was told that I wasn't allowed for so long. My whole life. Fuck that. Fuck that. Sorry, I'm trying not to lose it. There's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with it. And yet it terrifies so many people in this world. Tears are just, they're so natural. They're like laughing and breathing and eating and fucking. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with tears. So don't let anyone shame you for showing emotion ever in your life, or having big opinions, or taking up fucking space. You go and you take up space, unless you're a man-spreader, then you should close your legs. But like, honestly, take up space in this world. Be big. Yeah? So that's my family story. That's the dot points, everyone. And you know, this is why it's a little harder for me than maybe some other people, and also not because I don't have that stress. I'm not trying to look after them because they won't allow it. So that's fine. The other thing is I'm really good at looking after people. But right now it's just me looking after me and my community and my chosen family, and that's you guys. Anyway, this has probably been a long one, so sorry. I have no idea how long it's gone for. But I'm now going to get in the garden. I managed to not lose it pretty good then, don't you think? I bought these plants today, and I'm doing this garden bed. And I was going to grow vegetables, and then I grew the capsicum that was the size of my eyeball, and I decided that was silly. So now I'm just growing flowers because they make me happy. Anyway, I love you all, and this is the crazy life we're living. It's Days of Our Lives, chapter 48. And yeah, this is just another chapter in my story as well. All right, lots of love. Have a good day, all. Bye.